and it's really hard to turn those emotions off. So that's where we come in to just provide the education and the resources that there is help available. And one thing that I learned is it's not about, you know, as a parent, it's really easy for me to tell my children, if you do this, this, and this, your life is going to be fine. You can't talk like that to a victim of domestic violence. It's very important to let them make their own decisions, and it's very important to not tell them what to do, but to meet them where they're at right now and to try to meet their current need, which might just be, you know, a friendly, you know, hug, or just helping them through the day. And because right now that's all they're looking at.
I'd say that you see a lot of heartbreaking situations, like people that's been beat up, people that's you know, suffered, you know, black eyes or busted mouths or things like that. You know, and it's heartbreaking.
Yes.
And thinking that you can make a difference in their life keeps you going to the job every morning.
It's very heartbreaking to see anyone hurt.
Right.
One of the reasons how I got into domestic violence, I had worked as a victim advocate within law enforcement, and this was many, many years ago. And really, domestic violence was a piece of it, but it wasn't a piece that I really focused on.
Right.
Until I met a little girl whose mother had been killed by her stepfather, and she was only 9 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And that brought it home to me. It was really like, wow, this is not just a crime, this is just not something that happens in somebody's home.
Right.
And we still have that mentality, or that way of thinking that what happens behind closed doors stays behind closed doors. And that's not true. If you see someone breaking into your neighbor's home, you're going to call 911.
Right, right.
So in the same token, you need to help your neighbor out if you see them being abused, or see something happening that is not right. So
now you deal with all forms of domestic violence and abuse. What about child abuse?
Well, we work with the Department for Community-Based Services, which is the state social service agency.
Right.
If child abuse is suspected or anything, of course, they're called in, and they usually take over the investigation from there.
Exactly.
But we provide emotional support.
And you know, the times that we're living in, which, you know, our law enforcement is doing such a phenomenal work about tearing down these drug houses and stuff like that. But, you know, a lot of times these children are surrounded by that. So, Michael, what do we need to do? We need to do our part and report. If we know somebody that's been abused or know somebody that's being surrounded by this, we need to do our part, don't we?
Absolutely, yeah. And all our programs, for example, our child development programs, work very closely with all the families. And we have counseling services available, not just, you know, Dana's a community advocate, but we actually have counselors that can meet with children that are victims of abuse and adults that are victims of abuse or in substance abuse situations as well. And that's located primarily in Rockcastle County on this end of things, and out towards Paintsville on the eastern side of things.
You know, a lot of people do need counseling. I mean, they need direction and help. And you all are Christian based, and that's so wonderful, because you give them the answers, you know, from God and Jesus, and helping people, and that's wonderful. So what are more ways that we can do our part? I mean, you know, there's many other things that we can do. If we know somebody that needs help, how can we help them?
Well, if you know someone that needs help, again, get on the website, and then our phone number, 1-866-270-4227, and that goes to our main office, and they can refer you to whatever program. It's a little bit confusing not knowing which county has which service, because we're very much into meeting the needs of the county and not duplicating what may already be in the county. Okay, we're not there to replace anyone. We're there to fill in the gaps.
And it's so wonderful.